Hello everyone. I am back from Norway, from outside, from beautiful nature. Even today there's a little rain in the air and it doesn't matter, because what I've been thinking when I was walking today, and I do have a lot of people that ask me that, of course, and I am the first one to realize when I have a new client and they come to me with all these symptoms, it's really about understanding first. I do believe the mindset has a huge factor in every part of your healing, every part of your health, your emotional, mental, everything you experience. But you know what? Sometimes we just need the basic understanding for ourselves to know why we need to change it all, to look at the world and say, okay, so this is clearly not working for us, then let's look over here and see if this works better. Or let's step back from whatever we've been told that doesn't make sense anymore, or that doesn't make sense once we step away to see that we're told something different than the truth about health and about our bodies. I'm a health and success coach. I'm an author of 3 books. I make online programs. I do have a membership site, and I do speak to a lot of people about health. I do speak to a lot of clients. I support them, I mentor them, I inspire them, but I also teach them. I teach them how to themselves be knowledgeable, wise, and feel free enough to take care of their own health. So first of all, let's do the basics. Let's get back to the what does the doctor not know? What do you not know? What has taken us so long to get to this simple point to where we actually just look at ourselves, look at our bodies, look at nature, look at what we're experiencing, revisiting everything, saying, oh my God, what happened? Because, you know, either you believe you can or you believe you can't. That's all well and good. But I still believe if you understand the basics, then you are going to be more willing to change. Because listen to this. We have been going to doctors for decades, looking at our blood, looking at blood work, right? To search for whatever's wrong. You come to the doctor and you have a symptom. You search to see in the blood if something's wrong. You look at all your symptoms. You get a label. You put the symptoms into a category. That's all that it is. So every diagnosis is just another category, right? I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So what did that mean? It meant that I had something that my blood was reacting to. I had swollen joints. I had a set of different symptoms, fatigue, other things that someone put into a category saying, so if this is what you're experiencing, this is what you have. Now, once you have a name, then what do we do? Now, then we can find a medication that will suppress those symptoms. In the so-called chronic world, there's no healing involved. There's no looking at the cause of why you got there. Not interesting. Not at all. And I speak about all of this in my first book, From Hell to Inspired. I lived this whole scenario, going in and out of the hospitals, getting the diagnosis, going on all the medications, living the trauma, living the detrimental health, living all of that, stepping out of it, living all of that. So believe me when I say this is a label and this is a category that you don't want to be in, and you don't want to own that, you don't want to live that, you don't want to believe in it. We should be more like Easy behind me here, my cat, see? She's having so much fun. I'm trying not to get caught up in her world. Okay, so back to this world, me teaching you the one-on-one why you need to revisit what you're doing with your life and health to be able to really reclaim it. So we're looking at labels, we're looking at symptoms without realizing or even looking towards where they came from. I had to tell you something right off. They didn't come from your blood. You didn't get the symptoms because something was off in your blood. It's merely another symptom. The blood is only reflecting the health of your body. And there could be a lot of things going on in your body, a shitload of things going on in your body, and it would never show up in the blood work. And a lot of you know this. right? I mean, you can be labeled with an ME or chronic fatigue or all these things that I don't, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you any medical advice here. We all know that. This is just me sharing my experience with you. So it doesn't matter. You look to the blood and you don't find anything. And you look at the person, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not feeling good. I'm so sick. You have all these symptoms. We give you a label. We put you in this saying you have this. It doesn't matter if we find anything in the blood, whatever. But we're going to keep on looking. We're going to keep on looking. And in the meantime, we're going to give you all these chemicals that I'm sure your body will be very happy to have in you to try to suppress these symptoms so that you can't feel them. It doesn't mean that they went away or that the cause went away, but you can't feel them anymore, okay? So that is a good thing. No, it really isn't. And this is the reason. Every time we're feeling a symptom, we are in a whole other system. We're not in the blood. We're in the lymphatic system. And you've heard me talk about that. And you've heard Dr. Morse talk about that. And a lot of people are talking about that because the world is slowly waking up to the fact that we have 1/3, 2/3 more lymph in our body than we have blood. So the blood is simply the kitchen, the delivery system. The blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to every cell. Of course, a whole other, every part of our body does not only what we know it does much more than that, I'm sure, and we will never know exactly. It is not our place to tear the body apart, to try and know this. What I'm talking about is what we see that is obvious. As long as the lymph system is the sewer system, where do you think the crap is going to be? And as long as there are 2 times more lymph than blood in the body, it tells us something else. So again, the blood is the delivery system. The lymph is the sewer system. That's where all the crap is supposed to go. So every time you eat something where there's a lot of waste, it will get dumped back into the lymphatic system. Every time you stress your body, you create more acids from working out, from stress, extra burden, extra shit, any toxin, any heavy metal, back to the lymphatic system. What else? The parasites. And I'll get back to that, because once that system gets stagnant, there's so much food in there and so many other things are going on that the parasites are just multiplying, and they're pooping and eating and creating more acids. And do you know that every single cell in your body is pooping and eating because it's a living entity? So just from being awake, you are creating more acids and more waste, because we are alkaline by design, but we're acidic by function. So just from breathing, you are creating acids that needs to be released. We are creating waste that needs to be released. So what happens when you don't feel good? When you get something that you might call a dis-ease, or that you get that label, you get pointed into that basket of symptoms. It just means that your body is showing you that it's so full of waste that is not being eliminated, that you're feeling it. And most of the time, like pain first, because it's acids, it's pain, it's painful. The less acidic you are, the less pain you'll feel. So why is someone getting a heart attack and then someone else is getting gout or a goiter or migraines? This is what we see. Your set of symptoms will simply show up at your weakest link. So think about it this way. You were born floating around inside your mother, sharing the blood and the lymphatic system. So even though you were created from the genes of your mother and father, you're bringing in to this body that's yours, new, should be all cleaned out, should be all good to go. But since you were sharing your mother, you're bringing all the weaknesses with you. We are bringing the weaknesses with us. So your weakness is that which you're born with. You can create weakness, of course, from just living. Because once you just keep on pounding in, all the meat that is going to putrefy in your gut the eggs and the dairy, the pesticides and the herbicides, once you keep pounding that in, it's going to keep on piling up if you're not eliminating. And most of us, we aren't. And this is why you see the children, they get sicker and sicker for every generation. Why? Because, we get weaker and weaker. We keep creating children with our genes. Now they get weaker. This is why your grandma, first of all, she was eating food that she could pronounce and that came from Mother Earth. There were no GMO. There were no pesticides or herbicides back then. They were eating much cleaner. Even if they were smoking a cigarette, it was most likely nicotine from the plant. Now you're smoking chemicals. So nothing is comparable, and our genes are so much weaker. And I'm sitting here talking to you in the rain. I just wanted to let you know. This is cleansing. The rain is cleansing for the earth. So step more outside. I'm sitting here barefoot. So important. Grounded. So back to what I was talking about. Your symptoms are showing themselves from your weakest link. Okay, so that's out of the way. Now, does that mean that you have a genetic makeup that you can't change? No. Does it mean that because your mother was overweight, you are overweight because you inherited the overweight gene? No. It simply means that you were born with the same weakness in the body, meaning your symptoms will show up right there next to hers if you're going to keep on living the same way that she did. And most likely it's going to show up much sooner because you're weaker from the get-go. The good news is this. You can cleanse out everything that's holding you down and keeping your cells acidic, clogged up. It's like they can't breathe, They can't do their job if you're strangling them. So this is why the symptoms show up in families and they look exactly the same. And some people just lay back and don't think that you can lay back and think, no, it's genetic. It's not, I can't do anything about it. The good news is you can if you want it. And this is the difference I see in my clients, between those who will make it and those who will take another turn. Is the ability to see the responsibility that lays behind this. This is all good news. Everything I'm telling you is good news because it empowers you to do what's right for your body and your life. Because when we know better, we can do better. We can always do better if we are inspired to or, feel empowered to. So back to the lymphatic system. So this is the sewer system that is going around your body to every part of your body. If there has been any blood going somewhere, there is the lymphatic system. It just rolls around in our brain, in our whole body. We even have separate systems for our brain. The lymph nodes. It's a part of the lymphatic system. And we've all noticed this. When you've had an infection or felt sick, you can notice that your lymph nodes is swollen and stagnant, right? It's because your lymphatic system is trying to get rid of this. And the lymph node is like the septic tank. Okay? It's a septic tank. So your body's supposed to dump it right there. It processes, there are bacteria in the lymph nodes, and off it goes, and then where comes the problem? The kidneys. Because they are filtering out lymphatic waste from the lymphatic system, the acidic waste. So what do you think happens if the kidneys doesn't filter? It gets stagnant. You keep it in your body. It doesn't mean that there is not waste carried out through your bowels, obviously, through your lungs, through your skin. Your liver is helping with that. Your gallbladder, everything, every metabolizing organ and gland is helping elimination, but the kidneys is like the long lost friend that you didn't even know that you had. Because we're sitting here getting so acidic and so piled up with waste that is burning our cells, and we didn't even know that we're supposed to filter. I thought that it was okay to pee very clear pee. I'm talking about pee now because it's a natural part of us. And we aren't. We're supposed to filter out lymphatic waste through our kidneys. So what does the body do when that doesn't happen? It just sits there and burns. And the longer it sits, the more stagnant it gets. And it gets thicker until you will experience more and more and more and more of these symptoms. You see? So this is not the same way to move the lymph. When you hear that people like me say move that lymph, it doesn't mean jumping on a trampoline or doing deep breathing or walking. That is moving the lymph internally. I'm talking about moving the lymph, like pulling the plug and moving it so that the waste comes out. And that's very different. Okay? So what do? Once that you know this, what do? First of all, you stop putting in what creates more acids, right? First of all, do no harm. Now, when that's done, you start to open those kidneys. You start to open up all the eliminating organs because we realize that we're not feeling well. We're sick, and I don't care what you call it. We're sick because we're so acidic. We're so stagnant. There's so many obstructions in our body. It's not flowing. You know, we've been cutting out our tonsils, which are the main lymphatic, part of the main lymphatic pathway from the head, cleansing from the head. The main lymph nodes, clearing our head. Now what happens if you take those out? Things are going to get stuck more in your head. And what's going to happen when your acids burn your cells in the head? I can think of a few, and I'm not even going to label them as diseases. But you get where I'm going, right? Because I don't want you to think that any label or dis-ease is something to be afraid of. I want you to think of it as a challenge. I want you to think of it as an awakening to you so that you can educate yourself and know what to do about this so you can feel healthy again, so you can feel amazing. You know, because if you have this basic understanding that your body needs to filter out the waste, you'll come asking me and other coaches and read the books and take my online course just because you want to educate yourself more. When you understand this, you'll come from a different standpoint. You'll be empowered saying, Hilde, I know this now. Please help me open my kidneys. Please help me stay on course. Please help me do what I know now that I need to do to feel better. And I don't feel disempowered anymore. And I don't feel like my life is over. Or I don't feel like this is a curse because I have these symptoms and I got this label and now I don't know what to do because no matter what I've been doing, I'm going downhill, or so it feels like. This is what I want to tell you. So educating yourself is very important. Although I speak about getting out of the mind or getting out of the thinking, this is when you're already in the process. When you know what to do, you just do it. You don't need to think about it every day. You don't need to make that your whole world. I don't go around sitting and looking at my apple or my food, making that my world. I live my life. It's simply food. It's simply what I eat. It's not all that. It's not that important. It's not, what we eat is not meant to be the have-all, end-all. But I believe very strongly that being in a healthy, operative, thriving body is very natural. And it's ours to have. But we have to step up to first getting knowledgeable enough to understand a little bit about the why. Because I always see this also with my clients. The less you know, the harder it will be for you to grab everything that is going to happen to you once you start this process. Because you know what? When all that shit is on its way out, you will feel it. And I say, bravo, hallelujah. But you might say, oh my God, what's going on with me? I'm dying, or I'm feeling all of this, or I get rashes, or this and this is happening, and I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like to feel pain. And I know that. But if we're going to feel better, we have to allow that everything that is not serving us, everything that's burning our cells, that is keeping everything stagnant, it has to come out. And it is always a glorious day when we see something leave us, even if it's parasites, sulfur, lymph, candida. We know what it feels like to pile this up and to live with it on the inside. And I know you. I know if you're listening to my videos, you are ready for one. You're worthy. You're able. You're curious. And I know that by knowing better, you will want to do better. At least it puts you in the position to make a choice from another standpoint. I always say that. I don't care what you do in your life, and why would I? It's not my place. I don't care what you eat. I don't care which path you choose. My passion, my purpose, my mission is to try and express to you and teach to you and inspire you to know better so that you can make better choices, or at least make a choice from a more calculated standpoint. It's hard to do good if you don't know the why you're doing it. And I'm not talking about the why that I usually talk about. I usually talk about the why you want to go through with this. Like, why do you want to heal? Why do you want to feel better? Why do you want to have legs and arms that can ride a bike or have a great swimming experience? Or why do you want a clear head? Or why do you want to be able to play soccer with your child? That's one why. The other why is the understanding why. Because then you will know that you can actually do it. If you stay locked and believe that you have a label that you can't get out of, then you're already stuck, right? And then there's the last thing that I just want to mention before I let you go today. And I feel so blessed that you're here listening to me, because I know that you will do better. It's the last thing. It's the connection with who you are, and expressing that you love yourself and realize that you are here because you're amazing and divine, and you're part of the divine creation. You know, honoring everything in life, honoring your health, honoring what you were sent here to do. And I don't know what that is, but you will find out once you start cleaning out everything that is obstructing you. Because it's not only obstructing our physical symptoms. Because you go to other videos and see me talk about anxiety and depression. For example, that's one video where I talk about how physical these experiences are. It's all our bodies. Because we're here on this earth now to have this experience in our bodies. We're not here to be just spirits. We'll be that again soon enough. But right now, what we want to do is honor ourselves and this earth and creation by doing the best we can. Stepping out of the fear, stepping out of the paradigm of illness and disease. It's a deceit. It's not reality. We create reality. And this is a new paradigm where we're stepping up together saying, hey, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to take matter into my own hand, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to take back my health. I'm going to take back my life. Heck, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to know that I'm a co-creator. I'm going to know that I have the power that it takes to change this. Because I did this, folks, and I'm not that special. I just figured out that it was all up to me, and I figured out how to stay focused. I figured out how to get there from where I knew. And this is why, if you want to work with me, I know we can do this. Because this is what I can teach you, because I figured that out. So I thank you for watching my videos. And I really hope that you will share and subscribe. And check me out at my website, inspiredbyhilde.com. So my challenge to you is this. Go through my videos, read books, look at others that are out there talking, and get educated a little bit. And I hope this helped about the physical body. And there's so much more to talk about. But once you understand, I know that you will want to do better. So I honor you for that. And I'm going to let you go. Namaste.